My flight started at noon on March 13th from Frankfurt to Mexico City via Amsterdam. I left my house at 9 o'clock a.m. and arrived at 7 o'clock p.m. local time. I can't tell how many hours it took. The plane arrived at Mexico City airport. I discovered that my mobile network was not working as supposed. I tried to connect to the Wi-Fi. Then, when I arrived at the border control, a young woman at customs asked me if I had an American or Japanese visa. I replied that I didn't have any of those visas because I have a German residence permit. When I handed it over, the border official said that the residence permit was only valid for 3 years, but that it should be for more than 5 years to enter Mexico. I tried to explain that this was because my passport was only valid until September this year, so my residence card was only valid until September as well. But actually, I am a permanent resident in Germany. No luck. I was taken to a waiting room where I had to bend over my cell phone and lost contact with the outside world. Then other officers followed one by another, a man, a woman, and an old woman. The old woman used translate software to communicate with me. She finally refused me entry. The reason for this was that my German residence card was limited and I did not have a German visa. I kept trying to explain that I had contacted the Mexican consulate in Frankfurt and had been told that my German permanent residency was enough to enter Mexico. I did not need a visa and that my residence card was the only valid proof of it. The officer also asked why there was no visa for Germany in my passport, and I explained that this had now been replaced by my residence card. I don't know if she was actually accused or was deliberately looking for a reason to deny me entry. I was taken by someone else to what I assumed was a detention center. Before I entered the cell, I had to take off my shoelaces and put them in my bag. The bag had to stay outside. The metal door locks automatically from the outside. The only window is sealed, and the room is full of metal double beds with plastic mattresses and no pillows and blankets. About 10 Chinese people were sitting on mattresses on the floor, and there were a few people on the beds from who knows where. Next to it was a cabin toilet and a shower, also made of metal. There were several security cameras at the ceiling and a very bright light that stayed on at all times. For some reason, I was locked up. I remembered that once I lost my residence card in Germany in 2021. However, the issue date on the new card was from the day the new card has been issued. However, I received my residence permit for Germany well over 5 years ago. I have a photo of the original settlement permit on my laptop, but the laptop is in my bag outside the cell. I heard from Chinese people, that they had been locked up for more than 1 day. So I tried to knock on the door to communicate, but no one answered. I was tired, so I dragged the mattress in front of the toilet to the top bunk bed next to the door, took off my shoes and lay down for a while, but I couldn't sleep. When the door opened, someone called the Chinese who had already been there to bring them food. I took the opportunity to talk to the security guard at the door, and he said he didn't speak English and just told me to relax and that everything was fine. I said I couldn't calm down. He started calling me China. I had to go back into a room and lay down on the mattress. Sometime later, the door opened again and my name was called. Me, a man with me in the cell, whose nationality I didn't know, and a Chinese couple already waiting outside and escorted to security by 2 officers. And apparently we were about to board a plane. But there was no communication at any time. The officer who ran ahead took our passports and new tickets. The officer who worked behind us took our cell phone and old tickets. It wasn't until we were on the plane and our passports were handed over to the flight staff that I got my cell phone back. I picked up my phone and loaded it with a day worth of internet that I could use in Mexico, and immediately contacted the courier who was supposed to pick me up at the airport, and a friend from Germany who was supposed to travel with me but had arrived in Mexico 2 days before. Now the plane is taking off and I'm typing the text. I feels like a nightmare that I would wake up from. The plan was to fly from Mexico City to the Zone of Silence tomorrow for performance art festival, then fly on the beach over the weekend, and then back to Mexico City for another performance art festival. Booking 3 round-trip tickets and hotels at all the stops I planned took so much effort. By the way, no one listened to me after the senior officer refused me enter. Nobody gave me any information about where my check-in luggage was. I asked the man operating the plane where I checked luggages. He says it's on this plane and that I should pick it up myself when I get to Amsterdam. The process behind me seems like it was done on an assembly line.